We begin in British Columbia, where the Public Safety Minister has just ordered the City of Surrey to continue building its own police service instead of returning to the RCMP.
The question in front of me was, is their plan safe? Does it meet the mandatory requirements to ensure adequate and effective policing? Unfortunately, the City of Surrey has failed to meet mandatory requirements to go back to the RCMP.
Surrey's council voted in 2018 to replace the RCMP with its own municipal force. But last year, the city's new mayor decided to go back. A provincial government report recommended against that, saying the Mounties have a shortage of officers and trouble with recruiting. With more on the announcement, the CBC's Belle Puri joins us live from Vancouver. So, Belle, can you take us through how we got to this point?
Well, you know, as you say, it's been something that's been percolating for 5 years now, and the key obstacle was when they had the civic elections, because you had a council that was in favor of Surrey policing, the municipal force, and then a new council, a new mayor particularly, who wanted to stay with the RCMP. So the discourse, the level of discourse has been quite high over the last few months, and then eventually the provincial government said, you know, we're going to step in and try to resolve this issue. But 3 months ago, the Solicitor General made an announcement, but it simply was that he was recommending that Surrey stay with the transition, but that the final decision would be Surrey's. And as we just heard him say, you know, Surrey has failed to prove that staying with the RCMP or going back to the RCMP would be safe and not affect other communities. Today, the Solicitor General says he, of course, did share his decision with the Mayor of Surrey, with Brenda Locke, and you know, she doesn't like it, but he, you know, was asked, so what happens if she doesn't cooperate? What if she decides that Surrey Council will pull funding for policing? But the minister says that cannot happen under the Police Act. Let's listen to what the minister has to say.
There is a plan that is already in place, and that plan will have to be followed. At the same time, as I said, to the City of Surrey, we have committed that $150 million. I have every confidence that the decision today has been made in full legal accordance with the authorities I have under the Act. And I also know this. I fully expect, you know, the elected government in Surrey will follow the law.
Now, another key part of the announcement is that the minister says this fall, the provincial government in British Columbia will introduce legislation to ensure nothing like this happens in other community in BC in the future. Surrey's not the only one that has an RCMP detachment. In fact, BC has, you know, half of the 13,000 RCMP members in the country, half of them are in British Columbia.
And so the federal government is now part of this debate. Where does it fit into all of this?
Right. They jumped in earlier this week, by announcing its plans to reform how the RCMP operates, to take it out of day-to-day policing, make it more like an FBI agency that would look at cybercrime and national security. So I think a lot of eyes were on today's announcement in BC, because it was a bit of a bellwether announcement, depending which way the government went. And now that they're going with the Surrey Police Service, this could in fact be the beginning of the transformation of the RCMP.
Belle, thank you. That is the CBC's Belle Puri live in Vancouver.